What if I told you that your struggles with blood flow and intimacy past 60 might have nothing to do with age, and everything to do with one small mistake you're making before bed? Yes, I know that sounds bold, but after more than 3 decades assisting men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s, I've observed a straightforward truth. Most physicians overlook your body hasn't given up. It's simply awaiting the correct assistance, and the most potent aid might just be in your kitchen cupboard. My name is Dr. Laura. I'm a men's health specialist with over 30 years of clinical background, helping aging men rediscover vitality, connection, and self-assurance. And I wish to impart something with you today that is both ancient and groundbreaking. You've likely heard that olive oil is beneficial, but almost no one discusses how to specifically use it at night to naturally help clear blood vessels, enhance circulation, and gently rekindle the passion in your most private moments. This isn't about mere hope, it's about establishing a habit, and tonight could mark the beginning of an entirely new chapter. So remain with me, because in just a moment I'll demonstrate precisely how this single simple step can help you feel stronger, closer, and more alive than you have in years. Before we delve in, if you haven't already, please subscribe and enable the notification bell that way. You won't miss any of the potent insights I create specifically for men over 60. And if this message resonates with you, just type 1 in the comments, if not type 0. Your feedback aids me in refining this content for you. All right now, let's proceed to truly comprehend why this straightforward olive oil ritual can be transformative. We first need to examine what's subtly occurring inside your body after 60, especially concerning blood flow, because the truth is many of the challenges you've experienced, lower energy, colder hands and feet, even a decline in intimacy, aren't just a part of aging. They're symptoms of something deeper, a gradual slowdown in circulation. And once you understand what's behind that slowdown, you'll grasp why this natural nightly habit can be such a profound game-changer. I vividly recall the first instance a patient looked directly at me and declared, "Doc, I feel like I'm disappearing." He wasn't ill, nor was he terminally sick, but he experienced a gradual fading physically, mentally, and emotionally. His energy was low, his hands and feet perpetually cold, and concerning intimacy. He stated, "It's like my body forgot how to respond." He was 62, and I've heard that identical narrative expressed in 100 different ways, since the reality is, most men don't comprehend the extent to which their circulation transforms after 60. We all anticipate some grey hair or minor knee aches. But what remains unaddressed is how your blood vessels, the vital conduits delivering life to every part of you, begin to stiffen, narrow, and become obstructed without warning. This isn't your fault. It's biology around your late 50s and early 60s. Your body reduces its production of nitric oxide, a natural chemical that keeps your arteries relaxed and open. When nitric oxide levels decline, your blood vessels lose flexibility. It's akin to transforming a garden hose into a rigid pipe pressure. Mounts, but flow diminishes. And guess where blood flow first becomes restricted? Your hands, your feet, your brain, and, yes, your most private parts. This explains why many men over 60 experience symptoms they dismiss as merely aging fatigue, mental fog numbness, and a frustrating lack of performance or desire in the bedroom. But what they're truly encountering is poor circulation. Blood can't nourish the areas it once did. The vitality that once felt automatic begins to flicker, and gradually a man starts to feel disconnected from his own body and even from his partner. Lying beside him at night, I've witnessed men break down in my office not from physical pain, but from the loss of something profoundly deeper. One man told me, "It's like I'm here, but I'm not genuinely living anymore." And that resonated deeply because it's not about vanity, it's about identity, dignity, and connection. Too frequently, this gradual decline goes unrest because we believe it's inevitable. But here's the point, it's not. When I began researching natural methods to restore blood flow, I discovered that the body is capable of remarkable repair, even in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. The key is to awaken those dormant blood vessels, provide them with what they require, and give your heart, your brain, and your most intimate parts the support they've been silently pleading for. That's when I started employing a simple natural morning formula, a blend of nutrients designed to open up blood vessels and revitalize circulation without pharmaceuticals. And what happened next astonished even me. Men started reporting warmer limbs, clearer thinking, and, yes, a return of strength and intimacy they believed were long gone. And it didn't take months, some experienced changes, within the first week. Now you might be wondering, what exactly is in that morning glass? How can something so simple create such a powerful shift in circulation, energy, and confidence? Let me guide you through it, because the ingredients might be in your kitchen right now and could transform how you feel before this weekend ends, if you're still present, and this message resonates with you. Go ahead and type one in the comments. It confirms your engagement and readiness to take charge of your health. Now let's continue and delve into the next crucial segment. I still recall the first time an elderly patient mentioned his grandfather habitually sipped a spoonful of olive oil before bedtime. Back then, I offered a polite smile. It sounded more like folklore than medicine. But after decades of observing men seeking solutions in pills, powders, and procedures, I started paying closer attention to the habits that actually yielded results, and olive oil consistently appeared. What renders it so potent? It's not merely fat. It's healing fat rich in natural compounds like polyphenols and oleic acid. Olive oil gently reduces inflammation and supports the lining of your blood vessels. This is crucial, especially past 60, when your arteries become less flexible and blood flow slows. That stiffness doesn't solely impact your heart. It extends to your muscles, your mind, and yes, even your most intimate moments. But what struck me most was its natural quality. No side effects, no chemicals, just something the body recognizes and knows how to utilize. That's the beauty of genuine food. It works with your body, not against it. And when consumed at the precise moment, specifically before sleep, it aligns with the body's innate repair cycles. It's almost as if nature anticipated our needs long before we articulated them. Now, here's where it gets even more intriguing. It turns out that how you consume olive oil makes a significant difference. In fact, most people do it incorrectly and miss nearly all the benefits. Let me demonstrate precisely how to do it. Right. The 3-part bedtime ritual that works while you sleep by now. You might be pondering, why, if olive oil is so potent, more people aren't discussing its practical application for improved circulation and intimacy. The truth is, most individuals don't realize that the method of consuming olive oil determines whether it becomes a healing tool or just another kitchen ingredient. I've spent years refining this bedtime ritual with my patients, and I've witnessed remarkable outcomes. Men who had nearly abandoned hope for intimacy were suddenly reconnecting with their partners. Not abruptly, but gradually, in a way that felt natural. There's no magic here, just practical, tangible steps that align with your body's optimal function. It begins with selecting the correct type of olive oil, and I cannot emphasize this enough. Not all olive oils are equivalent. You want extra virgin cold rest, preferably organic Y, because that's where the highest concentration of antioxidants and heart-healthy fats reside. Avoid light or refined olive oils. They've been stripped of the very compounds your body requires once you have the right oil. The next step is dosage through trial and error. With my patients, I've found that 1 tablespoon is the ideal amount, not too much, not too little. It's just enough to activate your body's natural repair mechanisms without overwhelming your digestion. The beauty of performing this before bed is that your body enters its most restorative state. During sleep, hormones are balancing tissues, are healing, and blood vessels are relaxing. That's the perfect time to deliver these nutrients. But there is one additional step that often gets overlooked, and this is where the genuine transformation occurs. Pair that tablespoon with a small squeeze of lemon juice or a tiny pinch of black pepper. This might seem unusual, but there's a reason lemon supports liver function and helps the oil process more efficiently. Black pepper, conversely, contains piperine, a compound that enhances nutrient absorption. Consider them as activators, unlocking the full potential of olive oil within your system. Here's what I advise my patients. Keep your olive oil and lemon right beside your toothbrush. That way, the ritual integrates into your bedtime routine, something you do without thinking, just like brushing your teeth. Swallow it slowly. Allow it to coat your mouth and throat. Don't immediately rinse it down with water. Give it a moment to settle. This small act of presence is integral to the healing. And I'll share something personal. I perform this ritual myself every night, not just because I believe in the science, but because I've experienced the difference at 64. I possess more morning energy, fewer aches, and a deeper connection with my wife than I did 10 years ago that didn't come from a prescription. It came from consistency, from listening to my body, and from honouring its true needs. Now, some men feel the benefits in a matter of days, others take a few weeks. That's normal. What matters is allowing your body the chance to respond gently, naturally, and without forcing anything. And remember, this ritual is just one piece of the puzzle, but it's a powerful beginning. Because when you restore circulation, you don't just feel better physically. You start to feel more vibrant, more present, more attuned to yourself and the people you love. But we're not finished yet, because once your body begins to respond, the next step is understanding why this works so well, what's happening behind the scenes in your blood vessels and hormones, and how something as simple as olive oil could rival the most potent modern treatments. That's where the real story begins. And I can't wait to show you if you're still watching and finding these insights valuable. Type 1 in the comments to signify your presence and engagement. Now let's continue to point number 4, what to expect. The journey back to vitality. One of the first inquiries my patients pose when commencing this olive oil bedtime ritual is, how will I know it's effective? I always smile at that question, because when your body initiates the restoration of its natural rhythm, the signs, though subtle, initially become unmistakable. You might notice it one morning when your hands and feet no longer feel as cold as they used to, or when you awaken with just a bit more energy, a clearer mind, and less of that heaviness in your limbs. These aren't dramatic transformations, but they are meaningful. They are proof that something within you is reawakening over time. You may feel more connected, not only to your body, but to your partner. Men have shared with me that they feel more present in conversations, more confident during intimacy, and more emotionally available in ways they hadn't felt in years. That's because healthy circulation isn't solely about blood flow. It's about restoring oxygen to the brain, balancing hormones, and bringing vitality to your entire system. And the beautiful part, it doesn't feel forced. You're not compelling your body to perform. It's responding naturally. That's what differentiates this journey. It's not about pursuing youth, it's about honouring your age while reclaiming the energy that still resides within you. But here's what most men never hear. All of this isn't just anecdotal. There's genuine science supporting how and why olive oil works this way. And once you see the studies, the biology and the research, it's going to make even more sense and might just change how you see aging forever. 5. The science backs it up. I've always believed in prioritising listening to the body, but as a physician, I also rely on evidence. And when I began to examine more closely what was occurring in men who consistently used olive oil, the science didn't just support their results, it elucidated them. Studies have shown that extra virgin olive oil can improve something called endothelial function. That's a technical term for how effectively your blood vessels expand and contract, which directly impacts how blood circulates throughout your body. When your endothelium is healthy, your circulation improves, And when circulation improves, you begin to feel it everywhere, from sharper thinking to more responsive intimacy. One study from Italy found that men who regularly consumed olive oil had superior hormone balance and fewer indicators of vascular aging. Another demonstrated that the polyphenols in olive oil reduce oxidative stress, the type of damage that gradually erodes your arteries over time. These are not fringe theories. This is respected, peer-reviewed science confirming what many men have already discovered for themselves. But what struck me most isn't just the data, it's the atmosphere in the room when a man realizes he's not stuck, that his body is still capable of changing, healing, and even thriving. That's the power of aligning with something your body instinctively understands, something as natural and ancient as olive oil. Now you might be asking, is this truly enough? Or are there other simple habits that, when added to this ritual, can further amplify the results? The answer is yes, and the next step may surprise you. Real stories from men over 60 over the years. I've heard hundreds of accounts from men who attempted this simple bedtime ritual. Some were skeptical, others quietly hopeful, but nearly all of them were surprised by what subsequently transpired, not just in their physical bodies, but in their lives. Frank, a 68-year-old retired teacher from Florida, approached me after feeling disconnected for years. He wasn't sleeping well. He felt drained most days, and the spark in his relationship had diminished. 2 weeks after commencing the olive oil routine, he called and stated, "Doc, I don't know if it's just in my head, but I feel awake again." It wasn't just his energy that returned, his confidence resurfaced. His presence in the moment reappeared. That's what genuine vitality looks like. Then there was George, 72, from Michigan. He had been grappling with high blood pressure and circulation issues that affected everything from his mobility to his marriage. He didn't want another medication. He just wanted to feel like himself again. Gradually, things shifted. His hands stopped going numb in the mornings. He started walking further, and one day he shared something. "I'll never forget. I feel useful again." These aren't extraordinary men. They're just men who decided to take one small, consistent step, and in doing so, they unlock something that had been waiting within them all along. But even with stories like these, many men still harbour doubts. They question if it's too late, or if something so natural could genuinely work. That's why next, we're going to answer the most common questions clearly, honestly, and from one man to another. Common questions answered when I speak with men about starting this olive oil ritual. I frequently hear similar questions. Honest practical concerns stemming from a desire to do things correctly. I understand that at this stage of life, we're not seeking trends or gimmicks. We desire what works, and we want it to feel right. The first question is always, can I take it with food? And while you can, I always suggest consuming it on an empty stomach before bed. That's when your body is in repair mode. Your blood vessels are relaxing, your hormones are rebalancing, and your system is prepared to absorb what it needs most. Taking it this way makes a real difference. Next, men inquire, are there any side effects? Olive oil is incredibly gentle. It has been used for centuries, and unless consumed in excessive amounts, it's very safe. 1 tablespoon is all you need. Too much can cause minor digestive discomfort, but that's rare and easily avoidable. And of course, will it interact with my medications for most men? The answer is no. Olive oil is food, not a drug. But if you're on blood thinners or have specific medical conditions, it's always prudent to consult with your doctor. The objective here isn't to replace your care, it's to enhance it in a natural, restorative way. Still, some men wonder if it's too late to begin. Others ask if there's a deeper reason this ritual impacts not just the body, but the heart and mind. And that's where I want to take you next, because the truth is this journey extends far beyond circulation. A final word from Dr. Laura. If there's one insight I've gained after 3 decades of working with men over 60, it's this: aging doesn't have to signify decline. It doesn't mean losing your strength. your presence, or your capacity to love deeply and live fully. And sometimes all it takes to begin turning things around is something small, something simple, like a tablespoon of olive oil before bedtime. We've discussed how blood flow quietly slows with age and how that affects not only your physical health, but your confidence, your energy, and your relationships. You've witnessed how olive oil, when used intentionally, can gently reopen those pathways and support your body in doing what it was always meant to do: heal, connect, and thrive. I've shared stories from real men just like you who took this seriously and observed genuine change. And I've guided you through the science that proves this isn't wishful thinking, it's biology in action for me. This is personal. I'm not just offering clinical advice. I use this ritual myself because, like you, I want to feel sharp, connected, and alive. Not just for my patients, but for my family, for my wife, for the moments that still matter profoundly. So if there's an inner voice that's been seeking something different, something more natural and authentic, perhaps this is it. Maybe tonight's the night you take that first quiet step. Your next chapter still awaits. Let's help your body turn the page. If this resonated with you in any way, don't let it end here. Start tonight. 1 tablespoon, one small act of care for your body. And if you're prepared to keep learning simple, powerful ways to reclaim your health and vitality, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell. This is just the beginning. We've got so much more to discover together.